Alright, so we will begin this trial on the day of May the 1st, Friday, May the 1st, 2020, at whatever time in Minecraft it is. And we will start by allowing both parties to have the opportunity to make arguments against the jury, against jury selection. The jury at this time is Soul, Hazy, Waffles, Aldenix, and Enders. Right? That was you, Enders? You were part of the jury?
Which one is Enders in the call?
Enders is Blender.
Alright.
If either party, will start with the accusing party, believes any member of the jury to be biased, please speak up now. Deck, do you have issues with any member of the jury?
I do not.
No? Okay. Timothy, do you have issues with any member of the jury?
Can you repeat the jury list for me, please?
The jury list is
wait, hold on. Go ahead.
The jury list is Aldenix, Soul, Hazy, Waffles, and Enders. Keep in mind that Waffles and Aldenix are will both be called upon as, hey, here's the defendant. That's good. Nice of him to show up. Waffles and Aldenix will both be called upon as witnesses by the accusing party. If you take issue with any member of the jury, please speak up now. Do you have an issue with the fact that they're being called upon as witnesses? As of right now, we don't know if they are simply being asked for an account or why they're being called upon. So, but if you think there is possible bias, feel free to make your argument.
I feel as if Alex cannot give a proper and good judgment based upon purely the fact that he has talked to each and every one of us and has a semi-personal connection with everyone in the chat. I feel as if he may or may not favor one party more than he favors the other. So I would like to remove him from the jury list.
That's the purpose of argument, right?
Your Honor, if I may.
No, you may not. That's the purpose of argument, right? To sway those who are unbiased. Based on, correct me if I'm wrong, what you just said is you believe him to be too unbiased?
No, I said I believe him to be, he may or may not be biased according to his side. Due to the fact that he has talked to every individual in the call. Again, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay. So, due to the fact that he's had to talk to each and every one of us at some point, to interview us and get to know us a little bit more, right?
Yep.
He may have more of a personal connection with JonnyAppleSeed than he does with UneasyFlame. I don't feel comfortable allowing my client in that type of atmosphere.
I understand your argument, and given that we will still have what I believe to be enough members of the jury, I believe it is fair to remove Aldenix as a member of the jury. So,
thank you.
Does the other party take major issue with this, and can you provide a reason why they shouldn't be?
No, Your Honor.
Alright. So the jury is currently 4 members. The members are Waffles, Soul, Hazy, and Blender, also known as Enders, who just died. Nice. All right. At this time, we will open up.
Pardon me. My driver has just installed. I'm currently opening Minecraft.
Oh, that's wonderful. Not
Perfect.
having to join
Yes,
us through
that would've
Zoom
been-
meeting
that
call.
would've been very annoying.
All right. With
And
with
I
this
believe
being
I'm already stationed at spawn, so there shouldn't be any issue there.
all right. Who's that with the bow? Boys, can can we not go pointing bows at people during the trial? And are you like 15 seconds out, Deck?
The world is loading in.
Okay.
Glorious internet connection. That was sarcasm.
On the point of a joke, Your Honor, could you repeat one more time for me, as I am a little slower than the list of jury?
The jury list. The jury list is Blender, also known as Ender's Wrath in game, Hazy, Soul, and Waffles.
Okay. I appreciate it.
All right, Enders, what are you doing? Deck, are you in here?
Has it shown that my name has popped up?
Yeah, it
popped up
says
and then
you've
it
joined,
died.
then left, then joined, then left, and you are currently considered as joined.
Alright, well, all I see is Sky for forever.
Nice. It just said you left.
I just got disconnected. So what I'm gonna try to do, you guys, we can start. If my internet's not doing hot, then I'll just continue trying to rejoin, and eventually.
Okay, you're gonna be the one that's starting.
Oh, I'm starting.
You're the one that I'm calling upon first to make your opening statement. It's the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna do both parties' opening statements, in order of accuser then defendant. Then we will call the accuser, then the accusing party. The accuser will have a chance to speak personally if they wish, and the defendant will have a chance to, and the a cross-examination will be allowed of the accuser, and then the defendant will be able to speak personally if they wish, and a cross-examination will be allowed of the defendant. Then we will call upon witnesses, and then the jury will make a decision, and then closing arguments, in order of accuser, defendant. Everything will go in order of accuser, then defendant, and then the jury will make their selection.
All right. I can begin my argument if you are ready. I am just, having a little bit of trouble connecting to the server.
And if you have any evidence, just like feel free to send it to me through DMs, like images or such.
Make a trials chat real quick. So if you want to put any,
yeah, that's a good
stuff
idea. That's a good idea. Please label anything as you post them as exhibit A, B, C, and such. And with that, the accusing party's lawyer will be allowed to make an opening statement. Jury, please pay attention.
All right. Just before I begin, can you all hear me? All right? Do I sound robot-y?
You sound fine to me personally. If anyone else has issues hearing them, say so in Minecraft chat.
Anything?
We will take the silence as affirmation. Please continue, accuser.
All right. Thank you all for coming tonight. The trial of JonnyAppleSeed versus UneasyFlame. So, Signs were placed around the server, blaming Waffle for placing said signs. There are a lot of people on the server, but only one that I'm interested in. Only one who would have every reason to do it. UneasyFlame has been on the server since day one, and I recall on that day one that he had to go through a lot of hardship. People were pushing him around, making fun of his voice, me included. I'd understand why he'd want to get back at the server, why he'd want to throw something on someone else. In fact, Uneasy admitted that he had a vendetta against the server. More on that later. Now, Uneasy clearly does not spend his time working hard. No, he is unproductive and frankly childish. If you look at his death counter, you'll see what I mean. While Johnny and his friends were working hard slaying the Ender Dragon, slaying the Wither, Uneasy was off doing who knows what, being childish. Childish, just like blaming someone else for something that he did. I intend to prove, without a shadow of doubt, that UneasyFlame framed Waffle for a crime that he did not commit. Thank you.
Is that the end of your statement?
My statement is concluded.
All right. The defendant's lawyer will have the opportunity to make their opening statement.
It seems I'm getting an okay connection to the server, so
cool. We'll welcome you to join. All right. Timothy, as the defendant's lawyer, you have the opportunity to make your opening statement.
Members of the jury, if you could pay attention.
What was that? Sorry.
Members of the jury.
Oh, yeah. Guys, stop. Oh, I understand.
We should sleep again.
And Enders, go back to the jury stand. They were getting rid of the. Okay.
No, I don't understand. I just would like their attention for a brief few seconds.
Yeah, it's the jury's responsibility to hear. So please, feel free to kill moms that come at you, but make sure you're paying attention. All right, please continue.
Your Honor, members of the jury, let me just start by saying that we're having quite a beautiful day, or in this case, night. In the case of Flame, better known as UneasyFlame, or Greenest Hat, versus Mr. JonnyAppleSeed, I would like, and do so pleadingly, for you to recommend that my client is completely innocent, to Your Honor. Now, there are multiple reasons that I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that my client is more than. In fact, I believe that the young Johnny Appleseed over there could have, in fact, purveyed these signs. But, of course, as Decadent said, more on that later. There are multiple attempts to target those that are younger than us, and even Decadent himself stated that he himself had bullied or made fun of when in some way, perhaps verbally attacked or mentally attacked Dick Greenest. But that does not mean that we are all completely innocent here. I would just like to the members of the jury to recognize that could be more, a lot more actually, than what we see. Thank you.
Thank you very much. See, okay. I apologize for the interruption. Let us now continue with the trial. Would the accuser like to speak themselves? Decadent, you're unmuted now to be able to answer for John. Would he like to make a statement?
I believe that I covered pretty much everything in my opening statement, and I believe that the things that Timothy are saying simply cannot be proven.
Okay, that's enough. Timothy, would your client like to make a statement?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. We are now going to go to first witnesses. The accuser will be allowed to present their first witness and make a supporting argument alongside them. Then we will go to cross-examination of the accuser's first witness, if its lawyer wishes to do so. Who is your first witness, Decca?
I would like to call Uwu Waffle.
Alright. Waffle, please come up to the Constitution here, lay your hand upon it, and swear to tell the truth.
I swear to tell the whole what is the thing again?
I make up something, doesn't matter.
I will tell the truth, thanks.
Excellent. Now, tell the truth.
Aren't they supposed to be asked questions or something? Isn't that...
I have half a heart, I have bigger concerns than, if...
Which way am I supposed to be facing? Am I supposed to be facing...
Face the jury.
Okay, well that's not...
Flaming arrow in the Constitution.
Should I... Okay, I'll just see.
Okay.
I think there was an assassin. Okay.
The accusers, lawyer will question you. That's what you have to tell the truth about the things like that they ask you, you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Decadent, go at it. Ask him questions.
Are we sleeping? Is that...
Nope, we're gonna work through it.
Push through? Okay.
Push through it.
Alright. Waffle.
Hi.
Hello? So, I gotta ask, what did you think when you found out someone had placed signs with your name on them?
I thought I was being framed, and that someone had something against me.
Right, I mean, I can understand that. Jesus Christ. So, lately, I've been seeing you talking in chat, asking around. You've been asking for leather and books, you know, stuff to progress you further in the game, right? To help you move along and be productive. It's clear that you aren't someone who would waste his time being childish placing signs, correct? Waffle.
Not sure how to answer that.
Oh, we have an objection here.
Tim, actually, I will mute you for this. What's your objection?
I object. The lawyer is leading.
Given that the witness doesn't even understand the question, we'll just go to the next question.
Alright. Waffle, do you believe that Johnny would do something like this to you?
Objection.
That one is definitely like unrelated, because Johnny's not the defendant here.
Your Honor, Little Tim in his argument said that he believed that it's possible that Johnny was
Objection.
I mean, you did say that.
I did, but he's now attempting to lead the jury.
Your Honor, shall I move to the next question?
Yeah.
Alright. Waffle, do you believe that UneasyFlame would do something like this to you?
Objection.
Rob, I don't know what that means. What's your objection?
The objection would be that it's pure speculation. You cannot base something in a court case upon speculation.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the question. What was the question?
I asked Waffle if he believes that UneasyFlame would do something like this to you.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Next question. His opinion doesn't matter. He's a witness. We are wondering what he witnessed. Enders, if you could avoid, like, building dirt behind me, that would be great.
Waffle, can you tell me exactly what was said on these signs?
One of them, or most of them, said Owo was here, and then one of them said Owo.
Oh, whoa. Alright, interesting. And Owo is in your username.
Hold up,
Now,
I just realized something. We skipped a, like, fairly important part, which is presentation of evidence. Waffle, if you could, like, go back to the stands for a second, and, Deck, if you have any evidence to present, please present your evidence and explain precisely what your side is arguing.
I do not have evidence to present, Your Honor.
Okay. No photos of these signs or anything?
No, Your Honor.
Alright. Then Waffle, get back up here. I would like to say that something we all know, that this trial is the first trial we have yet done, and it's super makeshift. So
I didn't realize that.
I as the judge apologize for any issues such as the one we have just experienced.
Waffle, can you tell me... No further questions, Your Honor.
Alright, Timothy, you are allowed to cross-examine. Waffle, stay up here.
Waffle, get back up.
Waffle, get back up.
Sorry.
Timothy, you are allowed to question the witness.
Thank you, and if I could have the jury return to their seats, that'd be much appreciated. Okay. Hello, Mr. Waffle. My name, Timothy. It's going to be my duty and pleasure to cross-examine you today. Now, tell me, what were on the sign?
One of them said Owo. The most of them said Owo was here.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That is a good thing to state. Do you have, or no, not even. I would like to call. I would like to ask the. Oh my gosh, they're killing the merchant.
Don't worry about that. don't concern yourself with such things. Please continue with the cross-examination.
Now, who, Your Honor, can we remind the court the jury rather, who called this witness up?
You can do that.
Thank you. That would have been Decadent, correct? Decadent, you would have been the one to pull up and choose that the Olu Waffle would be your, what's it called? Suspect? Not suspect, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. Faltering here a little bit, guys. But you called them to stage to talk before, in the case of JonnyAppleSeed versus Green Stat, correct?
Correct.
Do you have any evidence of what he is saying is true?
I do not have photo evidence, but I wanted the jury to hear what he had to say.
The witness himself is the evidence, I believe, is the situation.
I would like to point out to the jury and to you, my honor. My honor. Oh my gosh, I'm rusty as heck, guys. I'm sorry.
No more rusty than I.
Can I?
This is purely superlative evidence, and it has no actual factual basis beyond word of mouth. Therefore, cannot be used in an actual court of law. Therefore, cannot be used here, which is a mock.
Well, this is not an actual court of law. I'd like to remind you.
Absolutely.
This is pretty scuffed. However,
absolutely.
It is certainly a point that such a thing the jury may not look upon with as much confidence.
So in that same vein, would like to point out that I have the right, and my client has the right to ask me to have Uwu Waffle removed as a witness, and I would like to enforce.
Excuse me, what was that?
I would like to have Uwu Waffle removed as a witness.
Objection, Your Honor. Waffle. This whole thing is framed against Waffle. I think that Waffle deserves a chance to say his piece. I think that the jury should take it in account.
I do not believe that anything Waffle has said or has not been able to say makes the things that he has said so far worthless. So Waffle will continue as
If
a legitimate witness.
If I may, and
Please.
This is the only time I will attempt. Superlative evidence cannot be proven, therefore disprove, or it does not disprove or prove the fact that my client or any other client of anyone was there at the scene of the crime. Therefore, is not usable in the court case where we're exactly trying to prove that
it is usable in that court.
Objection, Your Honor.
Deck.
Waffle is
Deck.
a witness.
Deck.
Waffle is a witness.
Deck. I'll take
Yes.
care of this. Given that Waffle's testimony is the only point of evidence that has been brought up so far, it will continue to be accepted by the court, despite not being convincing evidence. It'll be up to the jury to decide whether to merit Waffle's testimony with any strength at all.
Understandable. Now, Uwu Waffle. What is for the court and for me, because I have quite a bit of much time reading. What is your name?
You want to go into depth on how I got the name?
No. I want you to tell me what your name is, and that's.
Well, Owo Waffle, OWOWAFFLE.
And earlier you said that the signs had OWO on them, yes, which is part of your name.
Yep.
Which is. I'm sorry if I'm speaking for you.
No, it's okay.
They are on the signs. That was on the sign.
Yep.
Okay. Locked on. Jesus, guys, come on.
Please avoid killing. Please avoid killing enders anymore. Just like stay in the steets, or like if you're gonna run away, don't run through the trial. Like just run in the opposite direction. Thank you. Please continue, Tim.
Johnny, get back here.
That's all. I think I'm okay with this.
All right.
Your Honor, I would just like to. Wow, I don't think I have to.
All right.
Do I sit?
You are to. Yeah. You can go sit down. Thank you, Waffle. Tim, as you did not present a witness, as you did not offer a witness to present, we will return to.
Oh no, I have multiple witnesses to present actually.
Do you? Did
yes,
you?
I
did
message
me
to
saying
you.
you had?
Oh no, I did not know I had to do that. I apologize. That is on me.
All right.
You may continue as you.
Did you have a witness to?
I did. Yes, I did.
Present?
Yes.
All right. Given that I don't remember,
I just wanted to
you
call
saying
upon
that you
Johnny
didn't have a witness,
Appleseed.
so. Oh yeah, and
I wanted
Johnny.
to call upon John,
Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong. You Did you consent to being called upon as a witness by Tim?
He did.
Okay. Okay. Then I
Uh,
will
So yes,
unmute
I'd
you.
like to call Johnny Appleseed upon the stand.
All right, Johnny, please come up to the stand and swear to tell the truth.
What up? I'll tell the truth.
Excellent. Defendant, lawyer, you are allowed to.
Now, young Johnny Appleseed.
Your eye is intimidating. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's the piercing eye of a lawyer. But enough jokes. You yourself, are, I believe, attempting to what? To my client. Your what?
I can't
What
hear
is-
you.
what is-
Sorry. This fool's. Shut up, bird. You're kind of quiet. Sorry. What?
You can turn your Minecraft sound down.
I would
So-
recommend turning your Minecraft sound down and or turning
Yeah.
Timothy up in Discord.
I turned him all the way up.
Okay, then I'd recommend
Okay.
turning your
Yeah,
Minecraft
I
sound
turned it down. I
down.
turned off my Minecraft sound. All right. Go.
So, remind me, what are you attempting to do here? What is the purpose of this? Are you attempting to sue? Or are you attempting to gain custody?
This is not a
What
suit
is-
case.
What is it?
What?
What are you attempting to do here? What is general idea of what you would like to achieve from this case?
I just want I just want people to know that it's him.
Interesting. So you call upon Becca to be your lawyer, correct?
Yeah, he wanted to be my lawyer, so I said, you know, that's cool.
Okay.
So he's
okay.
my lawyer.
I would
Pretty
like
cool,
to
right?
have this witness dismissed
Heyo.
as a future witness.
That was
They are not taking anything seriously, and therefore they cannot be taken seriously in any sort of court of law.
This isn't a court of law.
this is a court of law.
Oh.
Which, by
I
the way,
mean-
that is in fact a real thing you can be dismissed for, not taking things seriously, and that can give you jail. RL.
Are my answers not sufficient for you?
I did not see Johnny as in excess of not taking this seriously. So we will continue. If you wish to continue, or
No,
we can
John.
turn it over for cross-examination.
No, I'm okay. You said that you just want people to know that it was correct.
However, I will keep in mind, and I will pay attention further to whether Johnny is or is not taking this seriously. And if he is not, then he will be dismissed.
Johnny, you said that all you wanted was for people to know that's him, correct?
I honestly don't know what this is for. What does this do?
I think Your Honor, this in itself can solve everything.
I still want people to know that he's wrong.
Your accuser, if you will, Johnny, just allow me to speak. Your accuser has no idea what he's doing, has no idea why he's here, and his only wish is to demonize or hurt another person of the server. I would like at this point the case to be dismissed and dropped. This is getting ridiculous and beyond control.
He
and
is.
As far as I'm aware, they have
His statements right now are not arguments in favor of his case. They are simply answers to your questions. Any sort of statement in favor of his argument
I apologize, Your
is
Honor.
being made by his lawyer, not by him right now. That's why he has a lawyer. That's how the system is. Fucking. I don't even remember what these guys are called. Why am I so dumb? Phantoms. Okay. Thank you.
Should we sleep
The,
on it, or are we just gonna push this?
No, just shoot the phantoms as they come up. That seems to be working well enough.
So, Johnny, you say you want people to know it's him, right? Do either you or your lawyer have any evidence they would like to present to the court to prove that is them, besides word of mouth?
Johnny, as judge, you don't have to answer that question. I believe
That
it
would
to
be his
be
lawyer's
unjust.
job.
I believe that question to be unjust.
Will you be answering the question, Johnny?
No, I will not.
Okay. Do you or your lawyer have proof against in this hat in this singular case?
Do you mean
That-
like
That is not a question he's required to answer.
Yeah, it is. You wanna appeal that? Wait, what? How is that not a question
you
he's not
arguing
required to
with
answer?
Basically the reason I don't think that's a question he's required to answer is that that's like what he's doing. That's what his lawyer's trying to do, is prevent evidence. And if
my
there's no
point
evidence that he presents, then the
well,
jury won't have
point of it,
anything to accept, and your defendant will be found. If we could avoid killing the judge.
Well, case over, guys. Judge is dead, so we can still go home.
No one touch my items. That would be ideal. I'm on my way back. Savara, please keep So
no,
Tim,
my point-
essentially,
Sorry, go ahead.
I believe it unjust to ask him if he has any evidence.
Yes.
His point is not to show you evidence; it is to show the jury evidence.
Okay. Johnny, can you please come back up to the stage?
I don't want to pick up his stuff.
Just okay.
Oh.
That'll do. Right there. Right there will do. Can you or your lawyer provide any evidence for the jury's eyes?
That's the same question.
That's literally.
Well, yes. I'm purely changing it.
I think I may have
Well, the thing is, you literally cannot go into a court case with no evidence. That's what I'm trying to say.
If you go into a court case with no evidence, the jury will have nothing to convict the defendant upon, and you'll win the case.
That's my
A defendant lawyer cannot ask accuser if they have evidence, like just as a blanket thing. I don't believe that to be a question within reason.
Okay.
As that is the reason that his lawyer is speaking for him.
Okay. I heard an and then I heard death. This is interesting, though. This is pretty interesting. Yeah.
Waffle, you are not on the stand right now, so please do not attempt to provide evidence. Ender, did you like pick up all my stuff? No, it's right here. That's like the stuff that's not.
Am I allowed to
Ender,
go back to the question he asked earlier about what I want to happen to the guy?
Question has been asked and answered, so you can no longer.
I'm not asking you.
That is
Okay.
a fair
I'm
point,
asking the
but
judge.
I would say that that question is passed. If you would like that to be made known at this point, I would recommend having your lawyer do so in your closing statement.
Okay.
Or in your closing argument.
Your Honor, at this point, I find it an inadequacy in itself that he has not been dismissed because he is disrespectful, just generally rude, takes this as a joke, doesn't seem to care. And while he might not be representing himself, he is still his own person and can say his own things. And him and his lawyer, just as me and my client, had more than enough time to talk over what would happen.
It is for the jury to decide whether there is sufficient evidence. Not us.
I'm not saying sufficient evidence. I haven't said anything about
Objection,
evidence.
Your Honor. This has been asked and answered multiple times. Can we move on, please?
I'm
I
not
agree
asking
with
a question
the-
here.
I agree
didn't
with
ask
the
a single
accuser's
question.
lawyer, where I won't be dismissing him. But as I said earlier, I will be keeping an eye for.
Well, see, sir, that's simply not enough. I myself am attempting to not blow a casket, but
Then
this is
then I applaud you on your ability to keep cool, and I would recommend that we move on to cross-examination of Johnny.
Is that okay? One more question, Johnny.
Yep.
Did you happen to see any of this transpire?
Of this? Do you mean him placing down the signs? Because if that's what you're asking, then no, I did not see him place down the signs.
Ender, please go back to the stands.
Oh, let me just dramatically turn to the crowd. And then turn back. So, one more time for maximum effect. You did not see any of the signs placed.
Sorry?
You've already asked that question, Tim.
No, I know.
Can we
I'm
move
good.
on?
He doesn't have to answer the same question twice.
No, he doesn't, but he can if he wants.
Hey, we move on.
Okay.
Unless you have
I'd
any
like to turn it
other
over to
questions, Tim?
cross-examination.
All right.
I'm turning it over.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Johnny, please stay up there. Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
Yes, you may.
Now, I'd like to just as a word to say that I'm aware that we cannot prove anything here because we lack photo evidence. However, with that in mind, I'm going to ask a few questions, and I'm simply saying this so that we have no need for the objection of speculation. If I do seem to be speculating, then I apologize, but I just wanted to put that out there.
We will intrude if you appear to be speculating.
Yes, I understand that. I'm just saying this as a flat.
All right. Thank you.
Johnny.
Yes.
Now, so we don't have exact evidence of the signs. We don't have, at least. Excuse me while I make my way to the trial chat. If the jury would avert their eyes to the trial chat, there is one image of the signs. This one was placed on another portal. Sir, excuse me, divert, excuse me. So that's just, so you can see. Johnny, you mentioned earlier that Uneasy had some of those signs in his house.
Yes.
I would like
So-
to, for the benefit of myself, yourself, Wise Banana, and everyone really here, actually. Not only is that, again, superlative evidence, which just doesn't make sense
Tim,
to use.
if you have an objection,
I'm
you may
using.
object.
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it.
What is your objection? What is your objection in as few words as possible?
He's leading. He's possibly attempting to make. He's
Okay.
Your Honor,
Please
I am.
deem it.
I will, in this situation, we will allow Decadent to continue, and if, as I do not believe he has reached a point, but if he does, if and when he reaches this point, if I believe that to be leading, I will, move to the next question. So please
May I-
continue, Decadent, and
Right.
I'll make my
So-
decision.
I'm just saying, Johnny, that this is what you told me. I'm not stating it to be true. I'm simply I would like it to be made apparent. So did you or did you not say that you saw signs in Uneasy Flame's house with the text or something like the text "Owo is here"?
Not inside the house, but dotted around his base, because I did not trespass inside his house.
I see. All right. Um, and so that specific photo in trial chat, is that the image that you told me about prior?
No, there was another, there was a sign placed just outside of, Green's nether portal that was placed as he was exiting, or in the way that he was exiting. But that is one of the signs that it does match one of the signs.
All right. So just to be clear, and I'm not stating this to be true. I'm stating this as just what has been said. You there was a sign placed outside of Uneasy Flame's nether portal, which seemed to be placed from going out of the nether portal into the nether, as though somebody took the portal into the nether and then placed it.
Yes.
All right. So this is all allegedly happened, but I would like it to be made apparent. Continuing on, Johnny. Just so that we can get this out here again and sort of have somebody else talk about this. Would you agree that Uneasy Flame is borderline, in your opinion, less mature than
Objection.
some?
Yes.
Now I have
I
multiple
don't-
objections, actually.
I don't believe that to
so-
be relevant.
Yeah.
So please move to the next question.
All right. Johnny, you on day one battled. I don't believe we can do that, can we? Yeah, no. Oh really? Wait, who? Oh boy.
When you guys discuss, hopefully Ender is back then, and when you guys discuss, please bring him up to speed on the situation.
All right. So just quickly, because I don't want to take too much time here, but Johnny, you've been on the server since day one,
Yes.
and you on that day one defeated the Ender Dragon, correct?
Yes.
All right. Was Uneasy Flame present during this Ender Dragon battle?
No.
No. Was he? All right. So now, just bringing to the table once more, 298 death toll. That is impressive. And
Objection.
That is not a relevant question. Please proceed to the next question.
Your Honor, if you would let me finish the question, I wasn't even nearing the end yet.
I will allow you to finish the question. Johnny, please hold off on responding.
If you believe it to be irrelevant, I can move on.
Given that if you haven't gotten to the point of your question, I'll allow you to get to the point of your question. And Johnny, please wait for me to make a decision on whether it's relevant at that point before responding to the question.
So, 298 deaths. Now, I just would like to point out the difference in progress made.
Objection.
And you can.
Is that the point of your question, Deca?
I said 2 more words. I don't think this is.
All right, please proceed with your question.
Alright, since it seems to be such an issue, I'm just gonna say.
All right. Johnny, please return to your spot. Smart. We are on the accusing party. Does the accusing party have another witness to bring up?
Yes, Your Honor. If I may, I'd like to call Aldenix to the stage.
All right. Aldenix, please approach the stand and swear upon the Constitution to tell the truth.
How am I supposed to face this way, but also okay?
But you walk up to it that way and face
Oh, and
swear, and then turn around. And
true. Okay.
During the questioning and cross-examination is when you face the jury.
Ah! I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and all of it.
Cool. For I'm gonna make a statement here. For future trials, we will be holding them indoors.
Yes.
This will not be an issue going forward.
And maybe we don't hold it at my house, so you guys fuck up my shit. Good idea, right?
This is Spawn.
That's the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth is at Spawn. Currently, this is the only thing at Spawn. So like, we will once we have Spawn more established, allow you more space if you would like a spot set up at Spawn.
You're speaking.
But
like
for
a
now,
judge. I was making a joke.
Oh.
You're allowed to laugh.
Ah!
Ha. Sorry guys, I'm super serious.
Being serious is my thing.
Would you like me to donate you a shield?
I got one of them.
Okay.
You cowards running out with armor and shields. I go big.
Your Honor, may I question the witness?
You may.
Alright. Aldenix.
Hello.
So, you are the server owner, and you were there the day when UneasyFlame first joined. Is this correct?
Yes.
You interviewed him with me in the call present as well?
Yes.
Alright. And now, if and we don't have a recording of this, so once again, I apologize for that, but I would like to make it apparent. Now, UneasyFlame, do you recall him mentioning that he wanted to make a casino?
I would just like to say Oh, actually, wait, no, we don't have a recording of that. Never mind. Yes, I do recall that.
Oh, you weren't streaming, darn.
Yeah. Because that was before we started. Yeah.
So, I think the idea of making a casino, a building in which people gamble, is clear that UneasyFlame, without speculating here, that anybody who has the idea in mind to make a casino, to make people gamble, I believe that could at least come across as having an intent as to play people, and I think that's along the same vein.
Objection.
What's your objection?
You cannot know the intent of someone making a casino.
I'm not claiming to
Especially in
know the
Minecraft.
intent. I'm not claiming to know the intent. I am claiming that it is a possibility.
I no longer. I take back my objection. Takes you back.
All right.
May I continue, Your Honor?
With that takes you back, see you're able to continue.
Right. Now, so I think now, continuing with that, I think that somebody, I think that having an idea in mind to make a casino, to make people gamble, is at least along the same vein as wanting to play pranks on other people. Now, you don't have to agree with this, but I think that it's clear that those two
Decadent.
mindsets are
I'm not gonna force you to abandon this question, but please in the future, avoid interjecting your own opinion into questions.
All right, I apologize, Your Honor. Now, just as one final thing, you do recall UneasyFlame stating that he enjoyed the idea of people gambling in Minecraft.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Alright, look out, there's a phantom.
Objection. Relevance.
Deca, was that
The
your
question
full
is finished,
point?
yes.
Okay. That
I
as
believe
an
that
independent question.
No, that's
We
fine.
will-
I'll take it back. If that's the question, I'll take it.
Okay. Okay.
Now, Rob, when UneasyFlame on the first day that he was there, and even after the interview, stop shaking your head. You mentioned that he reminded you of a young me, correct?
Correct.
And-
Objection. Relevance.
I don't believe he's got to his full point. Is that correct, Deca?
I have not reached my full point.
All right.
At all.
Once you reach your full point, Aldenix,
You
please
can-
refrain from responding before I decide whether it is relevant.
Can do.
All right. Now, reminded you of a lookout. There's a phantom. Would you agree that that calling somebody anything close to me is at least somewhat an insult?
Objection. Objection a million times. What? Relevance.
I fail to see relevance. Please proceed to your next question.
Proceed to the next question.
Yeah.
Aldenix, do you agree that UneasyFlame was being at least somewhat in these last few days bullied by other people on the server?
I don't know if I'd use the word bullied.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me restate that. Picked on.
I'll definitely say picked on. I think he's it's not been uncommon for him to for one person to do something and for him to do something and then it not be okay because it's him doing it.
I agree with that. Now, so with that in mind, do you believe now to avoid any speculation here, and this will just be my last question. Do you agree hypothetically that someone?
That's speculation.
What?
Hypothetically is the startup of speculation.
Let me restate the question. Your Honor, excuse me, Aldenix, do you agree that in a case of somebody being, I was going to say relentlessly, but more so often picked at, is at least grounds for
Look, there's a zombie.
oh my god! Bobby, get out of his cage!
No, fucking zombie!
Put him back in the
Let
cage. Put
him
him back in the cage.
Get buckets back in.
Oh, go over to the cage. Brief recess, Your Honor.
Brief recess.
Let me out. Okay. Not 5 minutes. All right. Aldenix.
He's
Would you
back
agree?
again.
How did he get out again? Aldenix, would you agree that a person being picked on often can lead to at least some
Objection.
sort of
I'm sorry, man. You gotta rephrase these questions in a different way. I don't even want to do this, but you're like handing me these. Nice little.
I believe the question to be relevant. Continue, Decadent.
I
Your
wasn't
Honor?
arguing objection, or I wasn't objectioning relevance. I was objectioning the fact that it is superlative, and the fact that number two, just if we're being real here, you can't know everything. Purely.
Of course, you can't know everything. That's why I preface this with saying that none of this is hard evidence. I would just like to make it apparent.
Well, yeah, of course, but you can't continue in any case say, hey, this is, and hey, that is, and it not be that.
He's
You know what I'm
prefacing.
saying?
He is right now asking Aldenix's opinion. Aldenix, as a witness, is allowed to give his opinion
Yeah, absolutely.
on things that the court believes to be relevant.
Your Honor,
The
may I
court
continue?
believes this to be relevant, and until it becomes
I'm almost finished wrapping up my question. And then
such, you may continue, Decadent.
All right. Aldenix, would you agree that being picked on often leads to some sort of retaliation?
Objection.
Oh, wait, was that an objection?
Can we just wrap this up, Your Honor? This is my last question.
If you wish to turn it over for cross-examination, we can do so.
Can Aldenix please respond to the question?
Are you able to respond to the question,
Oh,
Aldenix?
yeah, I didn't know if there was an objection. I thought there was an objection. Okay. Yeah. I would say that it's definitely possible that someone that's picked on that can definitely be a motive for retaliation.
Thank you.
Do you have any further questions, Decadent?
That'll be all, Your Honor.
I would like to cross-examine the witness, if you don't mind.
You may now approach the stand and cross-examine the witness.
Now, Mr. Aldenix, be real with me for a second, buddy. What's your opinion? Also, I had a question lined up perfectly too. What is your opinion on bullying?
On bullying, all right. So I think people throw around the phrase bullying a little more than maybe should be, but I personally I don't really think it's nice to there's a clear line when something gets to the point of just joking around and is like just harmful.
And where does that line become crossed for you personally?
I guess when what? Oh, I guess when it's consistent and when it's highly directed and not really and when it's like unprovoked, when it's something that someone's not doing anything and then someone goes out of their way to do something to them.
So I would like to point out multiple things here, Your Honor, if you don't mind. Number one, Aldenix just stated his opinion on bullying. Now, and if you remember back to what's your name again? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting because I'm reading a lot and doing a lot of hearsay.
Heresy?
Heresy is great.
Did somebody say heresy?
Deus Volt. But no. Decadent provided or had Alnix provide what type of bullying or whatever. I don't remember exactly the quite word. I don't quite remember the word they used. If Decadent, you would like to enlighten me.
Can you restate what you said?
I believe it was picked on.
Picked on. And so being picked on. What is your okay? Now, from what I understood, at least from what I understood, what they were saying was number one, it was consistent. Number two, it was what was your word again that you used all the next? Just re-describe it.
I think I gave kind of three requirements. I said consistent, like
Which you described as his being picked on to be semi-consistent.
Objection,
right?
Your Honor. Where's the relevance in this? This has gone on for a long time.
I don't believe he's gotten to his point yet. I'll allow him to get to his point before I make a decision on relevance.
all right.
Alden,
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. So consistency. I
Which,
think.
by the way, I will restate. You said that he was being fairly consistently picked.
All right. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, I did say that.
Okay. So, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh no. And then the other requirements I said were it being highly directed, and it being unprovoked, in my mind.
So I also remember you saying, in the form of highly directed, that it would be strange, and in the form of just in general for no reason, right? That he himself was what was the word? Sorry, I gotta clear my brain. My shutterbox is getting full of items. You stated yourself that it was consistent for him. Whenever he did something, right, people would just hate it or not like it or whatever the word you used was because it was him. Yes, you said that.
Yep.
What is are you sure he wasn't being bullied? Because that I'm pretty sure he fits your definition.
Well, the aspect that I don't really feel like it fits is the idea of it being unprovoked. I feel like a lot of times he would do something and then it would be kind of a constant back and forth.
Okay. So
All right.
in
At
your
this point,
eyes,
we're gonna take a 2-minute recess
okay.
for a pee break.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then we will continue with the cross examination.
Yo, Decadent, you want to get some drinks?
Sup, bro?
Dude, that's what lawyers do, though. Like, lawyers do not give a shit about the case. Every time I've been in part of any major or small case, it has always been, hey, you want to go get a drink after this? And I'll be like, fuck yeah, be great.
So have you actually been? I knew you were like wanting to become a lawyer. I didn't know you actually been.
I've not supervised. I've rather watched and learned a lot from actual real court cases. And I'm studying to be a lawyer because that is actually some of my profession. You are hurting me, my soul personally, with these questions, man. Really are.
What are you talking about? This case isn't like totally scuffed. It's like
Well, I know. I'm trying to make it less scuffed by being a legitimate lawyer, but apparently I can't do that because every
there's
time
like
I do anything,
Well,
there's
you're
a
also
certain
working with a
amount
different playbook essentially because
yeah.
we're not we're doing like this
There's
weird mix between U.S. Constitution and our Constitution, so it's
yeah,
like
it is.
well,
I had to sit here and read through the rules a little bit. Oh, nice.
what we're kind of operating under is we're operating under a certain level of like scuffed, but like not fully scuffed.
Not so
So
ridiculous. But yeah, I know, I get
so
it.
it's
It's just it's
most of what it
colorful
is
now.
it's the first one we've done, so we're we're all kind
I'm
of
seeing
learning
like
it.
10 different ways we can do this better next
Yeah,
time.
there's definitely I would structure for the next one that I like preside over. I'm gonna like structure it differently, and I do want to have a talk with you and Deca about a standardized like we standardize a way that we structure these going forward in the future.
It would be nice
so
to
that-
have a way to make this move quicker as well, because
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is.
I think a lot of the way to move quicker is for us to all like understand the system better.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of what it is.
I can certainly help in any way that I need to. I'm well read. That doesn't mean I know everything, but
Where
I'm
the
quite
thing
well
is,
read.
we're not trying to replicate a actual court system perfectly. We're trying to come up with one that works for
Because we want it to be not only to get stuff done, right? We also want it to be like fun for people. It can't be like.
I mean, I've been having fun personally.
I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun
too.
And I hope there's like, I hope that, like Timothy, I know you and I have been like mean to each other. I hope there's no actual hard feelings.
No, I'm good, dude. I do not care.
I'm having a lot. You're good at this.
No, yeah, this is what I want to do for a living, man.
I'm hearing like actual rhetoric, and it's it's great.
It's great. It's great.
At this point, though, if this was an actual court of law, I'm just saying that.
Oh, this would get thrown out.
Your people, all
This-
of
well,
this would have
this
been thrown out.
This would make it to case.
Yeah,
But
exactly. This would have been like
the way we're
cop
operating,
is-
the way we're operating is that
Why is the bucket zombie out again?
if it's made it to case, it doesn't matter if like if the prosecutor doesn't present much evidence. It will be up to the jury to decide. It'll be up to the jury to say, okay, there was no evidence. We're obviously going in the defendant's favor. That's kind of what we're operating under.
Yeah, that would make sense. To
Yeah,
a degree,
just
though.
to
a
like clear
degree.
that up for you a little bit, because that was
Yeah,
kind of
no,
a thing
I understood
that
it.
I
It's
like.
just I don't appreciate.
I do think there should maybe be some system, like in terms of the structuring, there should be some way, like, because like if it's fairly clear that there's no evidence, like they could draw this out as long as they want to, and but like still have the same result of no evidence.
Well, that's why I was just trying to get the case dismissed.
That's
over by now.
Sounds like real American court.
But we
Alright,
can avoid that because it's Minecraft.
Okay, we're gonna resume the trial.
How's the trial going?
The trial's going excellent. I'm gonna mute you because we're resuming it. Everyone return to your.
You can
to your
he can be an
seats.
audience member if he wants.
Yeah, you
so.
can
Listen
like
in, whatever.
you can listen in and like come to spawn if you want.
I'm gonna
please,
mute myself.
Please move this horse. And return to positions. Positions, everyone. Positions. All right. Please please continue. To be
Where's
honest, I forget
my-
where we were.
where's my
Where were we?
witness?
Someone
No,
find,
I got it. No, I'm done.
was Aldenix being
All the next was up. Yes.
cross-examined? Okay. Okay.
Okay. All the next. Let's get back in. So, from your eye, you feel as if my defendant was attacking and being attacked as an equal, yes? Or is that inaccurate?
Equal's an interesting word to use.
What is the word you would use?
I don't know what word I would use, but I don't know if I would use the word equal because I feel like he maybe at one point was equal, but has since moved beyond that.
Okay. So, what are you attempting to say? Are you saying perhaps that there was a point in time? Oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
So you're saying there was a point in time in which it was an equal payday, in which he would be attacked or attacked, and then someone would go back and it would just be a conversation for a bit. But now it's him just attacking and people attacking him back? Verbally, obviously, not physically.
Yeah, well, verbally and also potentially in game. I know we had a if I don't want to I guess I'll just I know that there was a previous altercation.
Speak your point.
there was a previous altercation between, or there've been a few previous altercations between specifically Uneasy and Johnny. One in particular that almost or had the potential of going to trial was one where Johnny killed Uneasy, and Uneasy said that he hadn't been told that he couldn't come on the property, and Johnny said that he had already warned him to not come on his property. So there's already been previous animosity between the two.
Okay. So, from your eyes, there's previous animosity, which you just stated. I'm just restating what you're saying, which is that I can make it fully clear to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. So, what was done about this?
They were told that they could go to trial if they wanted to, but then they kind of just handled it between themselves, and nothing came of it. But obviously, we're here today, so.
Of course, of course. And what do you think is the product of us being here today? Do you think this is the animosity gone too far? This, that, the other? What is your thought process?
I think this was inevitable. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the circumstances are somewhat irrelevant. I think that this was bound to happen.
Okay, makes sense. That's all. Thank you. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You have a lovely eye.
Yes, it's always watching, my friend. It's always watching.
All right. Does the defense have another witness they wish to bring?
Yes. I would like to call young UneasyFlame while putting his hat to the stand.
All right.
You look silly.
Greenest or Uneasy, please approach the Constitution and swear to tell the truth.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Excellent. Tim, you may question your witness.
Hello. Oh, jeez. We are being marauded by these.
4 of them.
They do not like them. So, yes. I hope you're paying attention, because I certainly was. Now, if you remember, right, I believe it was said that by Alden, and I don't think I'm wrong here to continue on this line of question, so I'll continue. There is a prior beef, let's say, between you and Johnny Apple, yes?
Yeah.
Now, what is the extent of this?
I don't really know if there's much extent, you know? I've been killed by him twice. Yeah, no, I'm not really sure if there's much extent to it, you know? Just kind of been brought up at this point in time.
Would you say that he might have perhaps data against
Oh
you?
no, he has
Objection,
a
Your Honor.
complete...
Speculation.
I mean,
This is a fair question.
If I may, Johnny has stated that he is biased and against me several times. This is not speculation.
Uneasy, please limit yourself to answering the questions and not making further statements.
In my opinion.
Continue, Tim.
So, as you just stated, in your opinion, and you said he stated, do you have evidence or proof that he stated this besides simply superiority?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, one of my friend's arguments here was that you were lazy. Can you tell us what you've been up to for the past few days?
Yeah, the first day I built a villager breeder. That was what I did most of the day after I got kind of off my feet. The second day I built an iron farm. That's been working. I have several stacks of iron. And today I've been mining netherite. A lot of it. I have enough for a full set.
Speaking of this netherite, I believe you have it on you, don't you?
No. This. But, you know.
Well, they just stole that. So not only are you
shooting the jury, please.
So not only are you, in your own opinion, and I believe in a lot of people's here probably opinion, not because you've been working, yes, you've been keeping busy, doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
How many bat kills do you have? Do you remember the number?
No, but I have more than Johnny, so. I have,
that's
like.
not what I asked. How many?
I don't know.
We got freaking bat kills into a chat.
So.
I don't know. Can we get a bat kill leaderboard really quick?
Okay, I'm crying.
I've been. Oh yes, I have third amount of bat kills. So I'm pretty good.
So. You've been working. You've been killing the bats, which are our arch enemy on the server. Seems very childish of me to assume, or anyone to assume, really, that such a working individual is a child in their mind. Maybe you perhaps are working every day. You're actually getting on and putting in hours.
Yeah, no, I've been on for like at least 20 hours on this server, probably more.
Okay. And in any of those hours, have you ever been alone?
I don't think I've been alone at all. There's usually always one person on.
And I remember you telling me that you had a trade deal once with JonnyAppleSeed. Can you tell us the extent of that?
I mean, like a few hours ago, I'd given Johnny over around actually exactly 180 emeralds, which is not easy to acquire. I spent some time doing that.
And what did he give you in return for that?
Books.
Huh. Sounds like a fair trade for someone that wouldn't want to cheat anyone out of anything, really. I think with that, I will salute you, Decadent, and I will go sit. Decadent, the witness is yours.
All right, Deck, you may approach the witness and begin cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Greenest.
Yes.
Alright, so it's come to my attention that there is history with you and Johnny. Now, can you just explain, with as much detail as possible, what exactly went down between you and Johnny in the past? Yeah.
What you're talking about? I used to be in his group. I'm not anymore.
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm talking specifically about when you were killed by Johnny.
Oh yes, that's easy. I think and he warned me once, and as I was exiting, he killed me. My point is that I didn't not listen to him. I was listening to him, but he still killed me.
Now,
yeah.
If you'll give me a brief moment to look over something.
Your Honor, I would like to point attention to Decadent's knees. They are shaking.
What? No.
Knees noted. Thank you for pointing that out. Good idea. He might need some sustenance. That might be the cause of the shaking knees.
Oh, and look at that. That is a good amount of stuff from Greener's hat giving straight to Decadent. That's interesting.
What is happening? I'm not even. Why do we have a white shield? All right. Now, if you'll divert your attention to the Constitution, it is stated pretty clearly that trespassing of bases and/or privately owned farms, where the owner has made it clear you are not welcomed, is not allowed. Now, you can make the argument that Johnny never made it clear that you weren't allowed, but would you agree that it is fair to assume that someone else's property is off limits unless stated otherwise?
Could you tell me which amendment you're specifically talking about so I could give it a look?
I'm talking about Amendment 7 to the Constitution.
Well, that was made clear. It wasn't made clear priorly. It's because I was Sorry, I was harassing him about him selling me his bones.
You're harassing.
In a joking way, yes. And then as I was leaving, he killed me. Sorry.
All right. Greenest, without pushing, could you explain if you personally have ever felt harassed on this server?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I haven't, not to the point where I really care about it. I mean, I don't really care if I'm harassed. I'm kind of used to it, so I don't really mind it.
Okay. Now, just real quick, and again, without trying to speculate or anything, can you confirm for me if you saw any signs placed around your house?
There were two, and
Two.
one next to where I traded with some of my villagers, and one on my house.
Can you tell me what these signs said?
Wu was here.
Both of them said that? And just can you confirm one thing, if you remember? Were the O's capitalized?
I feel like they were, but I cannot confirm.
All right. No further questions.
All right. Uneasy, you may return to your stand. Decadent, do you have any further witnesses? I don't believe it was previously stated that you did, but I'll.
Let me just look over this really quick.
If not, we'll move on to closing statements or closing arguments.
Am I allowed to call a previous witness up to the stand, or is that prohibited?
That's prohibited.
No.
All right. Then no further witnesses.
All right. At this time, we will move on to closing arguments, starting with the accusing party. Decadent, please. Stage is yours.
All right. Now, just wrapping up here, folks. There's just something else I'd like to make apparent. One, just to enlighten you all, the photo and trial chat is of a sign with the words "OWO was here" written on it. Now, whoever placed this placed a lot of signs. Personally, I saw lots of them myself, but nobody saw the person place these signs, meaning they must have done it quickly without anyone noticing. And as it's been previously established, Greenest has spent a lot of time on this server. And he even mentioned that there were times when there was one other player online, which would give him easy access to go around to these places and place these signs. Now, on another note, placing signs quickly, I think it's fair to say that the average person would be placing signs fast, typing quickly, moving on, if they were doing this as a quick hit, going around doing it. Now, it interests me that both of the O's were always capitalized in the picture, and according to Greenest, he says that he was pretty sure that all the O's were capitalized. Now, this was already previously established, and it's pretty much fact by now, but just so that it's fully, completely no chance otherwise, this was definitely something against Waffle. This wasn't somebody saying ooh woo whatever because they're immature. This was something against Waffle because his name also has capitalized O's, and if you're going fast, you're not going to capitalize the O's. That wouldn't make any sense. Now, personally, I haven't seen Waffle and Uneasy talk much. I don't think they are friends. I would barely call them acquaintances. Waffle, a stranger to Uneasy, the perfect target for a prank. Someone nobody would expect Uneasy for. If this was a target, or if Waffle was the target, then he would be the perfect person for Uneasy to retaliate against. To show yeah, thank you. um, to show that to get his scent off of himself, there were 2 signs placed at his house, which is strange. I think you would all agree. And I would just like to close by go away by saying that Greenest versus Johnny. Greenest has not now. You know, Timothy made arguments about his productivity, but it is very clear that Johnny is more of a productive and more just centered around community player than Greenest is. I have seen, and I'm sure that you all have seen, Johnny making 5 beacons. He and Waffle are friends. They share an iron farm. There'd be no reason for Johnny to do anything bad. And personally, I don't think that anybody on this server would do something like that except for somebody with immature, who seems to be immature in a lot of scenarios. Thank you all.
All right, Tim, you are at this time allowed to approach the stand and make your closing argument to the jury.
Hey guys, I'm gonna keep this real simple. They have no argument. They have no evidence. They have stated that multiple people are in fact people. Like, for instance, I thought this case was supposed to be JonnyAppleSeed versus Greenest Hat, but apparently it's Woo Apple versus Greenest Hat. So that's a whole other thing we gotta sort at some point. There is no evidence. You cannot, without a reasonable doubt, claim that he did it. But then anyone did it, to be honest. Fuck, dude, this could have been one of the admins just playing a crank and just flying around doing it. I'd like to state, for the record as well, as easy as it is to call someone immature, we all want to be a kid, and that's why we make fun of little ones. So don't be a dick. That's it.
Thank you very much for your statement, Tim. At this time, I would like the members of the jury to go up to semi-private land, the chat channel, and converse amongst yourselves. I will be checking in with you in a couple of minutes to see if you've come to some sort of decision. If you come to a decision before I come into that chat, so have one of you guys just message me and I'll come in sooner. So the members of the jury being Soul, Hazy, Waffle, and there was another one, right?
That's it. Ender left.
There was 4, right?
Ender left though, so it's just 3 now.
Okay, just the 3. No, you're not in the jury. Why? Oh, yeah, I'll unmute you guys so you can talk in. Yeah, I'm just gonna unmute everyone for now.
Candy.
Man, that was easy. Light work, guys. Light work.
Eka has personally attacked me, and now I'm sad.
Emotional
trauma.
No No hard
Deca-
feelings. No hard
And I'm just
feelings.
gonna say,
trying to prove a point.
I have
I
more
did not
bat
expect
kills
it to
than
be like
Johnny,
this.
so get
You
wrecked,
do.
okay?
You do. Good job.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You got that in like what, 10
Got-
minutes?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna get more bat kills than Deca. Because he's stupid.
Can I just say, Timothy? I'm sure it was your idea. That demonstration had me effing dying. That was like
The bat kill demonstration?
the bat kill and
No, I
him
was-
placing the netherite and mining it. That was
That was
hilarious.
me. That was all me.
Oh, that was you? Oh, okay,
I bought
wow.
it.
Although we have come to
I
a
was
consensus.
crying
You've
when
come
he
to a
brought in the bat
consensus?
kills.
Alright.
We have
Yeah,
both
when
of
you
them.
like bat kills,
Man,
I was like, bat kills matter. They
What?
actually matter.
Alright, everyone, be quiet. Be quiet.
I will,
The members
I'll-
of the jury have come to a consensus, and
I will walk up to
Yes.
stand.
they are. What is
Uh,
your consensus?
I believe
Jury?
that the. Are they talking to the judge?
Yes, talk.
I-
You're talking to me here.
No,
And then-
I believe that there is not enough evidence to prove that he is guilty. We all believe
Alright.
that, actually.
That's the consensus of the
That
jury.
is the consensus we
Alright.
have come to.
All the
At
members
this
of the
time,
jury, you're all welcome to have
Uneasy?
us.
Uneasy, please shut up for a second. At this time, Uneasy is pronounced not guilty in the matter of placing signs saying Uwu was here. Yeah, that's it. Go home.
Ah, good case, guys.
That was
Wow, guys, what a great trial! Wow.
That was
That was
so
a lot of
Deca,
fun.
can I-
streamlined.